Allez hop, bonjour à tous et à toutes et bienvenue pour ce stream sur la Digimon Con. Tout simplement parce qu'on va avoir plein d'annonces. C'est l'heure du moment, c'est l'heure du véridique. Il y a déjà eu une petite annonce qui a eu lieu avant la Digimon Con. C'est tout simplement que Digimon Re fermera en avril, le 21 avril, très précisément. Et je me tais parce que ça commence. Les amis, c'est parti.
Konnichiwa! 初開催のデジモンワールドワイドイベントデジモンコンへようこそ
Hi everyone! Welcome to the first ever Digimon worldwide event, Digimon Con!
That's right!
Ouais,
I will be
bonjour à
guiding you
tous.
through the event, and next to me is...
はい、私 MC のマシューマサルバロンです。日本の皆さんはデジモンゴーストゲーム見ましたか？いやー、本日もワクワクするような展開でしたね。次回にも期待だね。さて、いよいよ始まりました。世界中のたくさんのデジモンファンのために開催が決定したこのデジモンコン。本日はなんと今から約6時間にわたって盛りだくさんのプログラムを生放送でお送りしていきます。長丁場になりますから皆さん、ちょっと休憩を取りながら楽しくご覧ください。
We've designed
une
Digimon
traduction.
Con for all Digimon fans around
Voilà.
the world, just
Alors,
like
par contre,
you.
j'ai juste vérifié.
We've got a lot to look forward to during the live stream. We got previews, we got games, we got music across a whopping 6 whole hours. So get comfortable and get ready for a really exciting ride.
N'hésitez pas d'ailleurs à me dire dans le chat si le son est bon, s'il faut que je baisse, que j'augmente ou autre. Voilà. C'est peut-être un peu fort par rapport à ma voix. Je vais baisser un tout petit peu. Allez, venez. Yeah. Et donc voilà deux Digimon que je pense les fans connaissent bien.
Hi, good to see you. Good morning, Gamamon. Are you guys ready to have some fun today?
Okay.
You guys ready?
Alright, それでは本日のプログラムを紹介していきたいと思います。初開催となるこのデジモンコンはデジモンを支えてくださっている
On rappelle que le premier segment aura lieu dans quelques minutes à peine. Ça concernera les jeux vidéo Digimon. Voilà, donc ça commencera dans quelques minutes, en tout cas ce segment-là. Là, ils font un peu un point de tout ce que sera un peu la Digimon Com. Voilà, ils veulent un peu... On va dire excité sur l'événement, hein, voilà.
Don't miss the first ever Digimon World Re event.
Voilà, donc là c'était un peu le trailer en fait de l'événement. Il dévoile un petit peu tout ce qu'il y aura durant ces longues heures de live. Ah bah voilà. Voilà. Alors moi je peux vous le mettre en français. Alors attendez parce que forcément je ne l'ai pas mis sur cette scène là. Allez hop. Voilà. Vous voyez très bien. Voilà. Donc en gros, attendez, je vais juste réduire un tout petit peu.
皆さんバイタルブレスの準備をお願いします。このイベントはレイドバトルを2本同時に配信し、討伐数を競うレイドバトルとなっております。
Je peux recouvrir le leurre. Voilà. Donc vous voyez que les annonces concernant les jeux Digimon, ça sera à 2h10, ça sera suivi à 3h par un match amical USA contre Japon. Voilà. Ensuite, ce sera concours d'illustration, l'annonce des résultats. Tout simplement. Voilà, vers 4h10 à peu près, ça sera la performance musicale d'Ayumi Miyazaki. Ça sera suivi ensuite par une bataille en raid de Digimon virtuel bracelet, puis il y aura discussion sur l'animé Digimon. Et on sera de retour ensuite sur le TCG. Bref, je pense que vous voyez un petit peu le tout. Allez hop, on va enlever ça. Voilà.
Also, the upcoming Ayumi Miyazaki special live performance will not, I repeat, will not be archived, which means the only time you get to see this is during the live viewing. So make sure not to miss that either.
Don't miss it. 見逃すな。はい、そして今日のデジモンコンの中で気になるデジモンがいましたら、デジモンウェブの
En tout cas, j'espère que vous êtes chaud. Oh, dis. Voilà, on pourra tirer sur le site officiel Digimon, hein, voilà, en Japon, en anglais, en chinois traditionnel ou chinois simplifié. Il n'y a pas France, malheureusement. Il n'y a pas la France. Il n'y a pas la France.
Nice. Oh my god, it took a lot of work, but we're finally here, guys. We made it happen, so we really hope you like it.
That's right. またデジモンコンの視聴者アンケートも実施しております。皆様の貴重なご意見をお待ちしております。
So we also have a Digimon Con viewer survey, which you can see popping up on the screen right here, QR code. We strive to make this event even better, so please let us know what you think.
Alors il ne faut pas hésiter à y aller sur le site Digimon. Hein. Il devrait y avoir pas mal d'informations dessus.
プレミアムバンダイでもイベント連動キャンペーン発売中
You can also find them at the Premium Bandai event linked campaign.
Gratuit.
さあそしてつぶやきも欲しいですよ。ツイッターでデジモンコンについてつぶやく際にはハッシュタグ
Ok, donc il ne faut pas hésiter à utiliser le hashtag Digimon Con. Voilà, sur les réseaux sociaux, Twitter, Facebook, etc. etc. Alors l'introduction elle est quand même un peu longue. Hein. Allez, ça commence dans à peu près 2 minutes les annonces. Dans 2 minutes les annonces, tiens, je vais commencer à prendre une feuille moi, pour tout noter.
And as you probably noticed, the YouTube comment section is open.
That's
so
right.
Please write us, tell Gamma how cute they look. We'll try to read them as we go along.
That's right. さあ、それでは早速始めていきましょう。最初のプログラムはデジモンコンの始まりを飾るのにふさわしいスペシャル企画。デジモンゲーム情報 Q&A コーナー。
So ready to kick things off?
Allez.
First up is a perfect way to start off.
D'environ une minute, les annonces commencent. J'espère que vous êtes chaud.
You guys ready?
Vous
êtes chaud? Est-ce que vous êtes prêts?
Let's check it out!
Et c'est parti! Voilà, allez hop. Ok, donc ça commence fort. Avec quelle annonce vraiment on peut avoir j'espère quand même qu'il va y avoir de bonnes annonces quand même.
in charge of producing Digimon games. Originally, I was hoping to answer questions while picking up
Voilà,
comments from you.
c'est un peu aussi une session questions-réponses également qu'il va y avoir.
We have had to limit the number of people involved in the studio. So, we will be doing this pre-recording. However, we will try to
Alors, je vais essayer un petit peu de me débrouiller avec mon faible niveau d'anglais. J'ai pas un anglais très développé. Hein. Je vous le dis direct.
Today we're going to discuss questions about the new game, Digimon Survive, questions about past games, ports and sequels, requests about the game, and questions about the game production. Let's get started.
Ah, Digimon Survie!
But before I read out the questions
Bien
about
sûr.
Digimon Survive, please take a look at this video.
Ah, et un trailer! Et on se tait!
It looks like it's going to be very different from the Digimon.
Et voilà un nouveau trailer!
So we're going to ask a few questions.
Incroyable.
The first says, I'd like to know the status of Digimon Survive's development. What's the reason for the delay? Please let me know if there's any reason why the information update has been stopped.
In response to our call for inquiries, we have received a number of questions regarding the development status of Digimon Survive. We are very sorry for keeping you waiting, even though you are looking forward to it. We also apologize again for not being able to provide any new information and for keeping you waiting. We sincerely apologize for the delay. As we have already informed you, once we have postponed the release due to a change in the development team, and that we are now developing the game with a new development team. Changing teams has led to a lot of rework on the game, leading to delays. This caused a lot of uncertainty that prevented us from giving regular updates. However, thanks to the efforts of the new development team, we are now able to be back on track, getting closer and closer to the completion of the game. As for the release date information, it is expected to take a little longer as we are still adjusting it internally. Once again, We sincerely apologize for the delay, but we would appreciate it if you could wait just a little longer.
Our next question is, what kind of story will be developed in Digimon Survive? Could you tell us about the worldview and concept?
Ah, ok.
Also,
En
did
tout
you
cas,
have
ça
any
démarre
influences or
assez
references
fort
in
avec ce
creating
nouveau
Digimon,
trailer,
Digimon Survive?
dans lequel ça dévoile quand même pas mal de choses.
This work has a worldview that is
Je pense qu'il va y avoir
a bit
d'autres
of
jeux
an
aussi
outside story
dans lesquels ils
for
vont parler.
those who have been following the Digimon games, but with a bit of a core fan leaning. The previous game, Cyber Sleuth, depicted the incidents that occur when Digimon appear in human society with a unique worldview. In the process of creating the world of Cyber Sleuth, what is Digimon? What is the digital world? I felt that there was a discrepancy between the concept of digital as we perceive it and the nature of the Digimon depicted in the story. As an answer to this question, I decided to depict Digimon as a life form from another world that can be recognized and contacted through the digital gadgets of the human world. As an image that takes this interpretation a little further, the director of the TV series Digimon Adventure, Kakudo, told me that Digimon are ethereal beings that have been with us since ancient times, but their perception has changed over time, and they are fragments of souls that have been transformed into digital monsters by being recognized through digital gadgets in modern society. This is the first time that monsters who used to have an ethereal existence are interacting with people in the modern world. For this reason, we refer to Digimon as monsters, beasts, monstrous creatures.
Ouais, donc c'est un peu comme tous les jeux Digimon au niveau du scénario dans lequel le joueur va en gros devoir un peu résoudre les mystères et les énigmes sur les catastrophes qui se produisent dans le monde réel.
Since Digimon are described as half of one's inner self, there are dark expressions that are not common in conventional Digimon works, such as denying Digimon by refusing to face oneself, or hurting Digimon as a manifestation of self-harm. If you are a fan of TV anime or other cheerful works, you may find some of the descriptions unpleasant, so please be aware of this in advance.
Please tell us what happens in Digimon Survive.
The game consists of text adventures and tactics battles, and the story is divided into chapters.
Ah, mais voilà, on voit un peu de gameplay.
The volume of text adventure and tactics battle is
Là,
about,
voilà,
say,
gameplay,
7
des
to 3,
fonctionnalités.
is mainly text adventure.
Talking about the text adventure part, can you give us more details on how that system works?
In the text adventure part, the game progresses through conversations with the characters and by investigating objects that can be found in various places in the background. In each chapter, there are two situations that occur during the progression: free expedition and exploration. The number of times you can act in free expedition is limited, and time passes by selecting a destination from the overall map and moving to it, or or by executing conversation events that occur in the destination. On each map, you can talk with your friends, engage in free battles, and examine various locations in the area. By talking with your friends, you can increase your intimacy and receive items. Events to digivolve your Digimon may occur depending on your story progress and affinity with your friends. Additionally, by increasing their affinity, your friends might come to your aid in battle, which can be vital during free mode. In free battles, you can level
Bon,
up
je pense
and
que
make
je vais rien
friends
vous
with
apprendre, mais
wild
ouais,
Digimon.
voilà, plus vous
You can
progressez,
obtain
plus
hidden items
vos
by
Digimon
examining
auront de
various
l'expérience,
locations in the
et donc du
area.
coup devra évoluer. Hein,
In exploration, incidents occur according to the
J'insiste
scenario
beaucoup aussi sur
and the story
l'exploration.
progresses.
Il faudra en
The
faire pas
story
mal visiblement,
progresses by moving
vu que
around
le
the
jeu
map,
sera assez
investigating
globalement basé
areas,
aussi
and
là-dessus.
talking with friends. When investigating areas, you can switch between the naked eye and the camera while exploring. By observing through your phone's camera, you can see things that are invisible to the naked eye as noise and make new discoveries. Sometimes you will be attacked by an enemy and a battle will occur, and you will have to fight off the attacking monsters as your adventure unfolds. The flow of the adventure part consists of adjusting your equipment in order to win battles, as well as training and preparing your Digimon for battle while leveling them up in free battles.
Regarding tactics battles, can you give us some details on how the system works?
Sure, battles progress in a traditional tactics battle style. At the start of a battle, you
Ouais,
can select
il veut
up
donner
to 10
un
units
petit peu
to
plus
join the
d'informations
battle.
sur comment
Battles
on
are
joue.
turn-based, with the order
Un
of action
tactical RPG,
determined
on va
by the
dire.
speed of the units. When it's time for your unit to take action,
Alors, je
use
pense
the
qu'il y en a
commands
qui
to choose your action.
ça change
You can
peut-être
use
pas tant de
move
choses que
to
ça par
move your
rapport à
units according to the squares on the field.
un
The
tactical
distance
RPG, hein, voilà.
traveled and the ability to climb the height difference are different for each monster. If an enemy is within your attack range, you
Ça
can
change pas grand chose
attack
de
them.
jeu là.
The
Par rapport
range
à
of
tous
the
ces
attack really
les jeux
depends
du même
on
genre,
the technique.
je pense.
The amount of damage varies depending on directional
Je sais
elements,
comment
such
tu
as
attaques.
side and back attacks, height differences,
Forcément, ça fait
compatibility of
plus de
monster
dégâts,
species,
hein, voilà.
and compatibility of attack attributes. Monsters can consume SP to unleash their techniques and
Et la
digivolve their units.
digi-évolution, bien sûr.
Digivolving to a previously
En Greymon.
unlocked one will greatly enhance the performance of the unit, but it will continuously consume SP while digivolving. SP is gradually recovered each turn when the Digivolution is unlocked and the unit returns to the growth phase. You can also recover SP by using items, talking with some partners, and getting support from your friends. SP is an important energy that can be used to your advantage in battle, so SP management is very important.
How many routes are there going to be in the story? And what conditions do the branches occur?
There are 12 chapters in the scenario, and from chapter 8 onwards, the story branches into 3 routes: morality, harmony, and rage. When you reach to
là,
any
parlons
one
des
of the 3
menus.
endings of morality, harmony, or rage, the secret route will be released.
Please tell us about how long we can expect to play Digimon Survive.
Assume about 40 hours per route. It will vary depending on the level of difficulty and the use of the fast-forward function of the text. It will take about 80 to 100 hours to complete all routes, including challenging elements and end contents.
Could you please tell us the total number of monsters that appear in the game?
Ah,
and as well
alors
as
il y
how
aura
many
combien
can
de
be trained as
monstres
friends?
présents
Also, how did you decide
dans le
which ones would
jeu de
appear in the
Digimon
game?
en gros?
Well, the total number of trainable monsters is 113.
Ouais, il y en
The
a pas mal.
selection of Digimon was based on the priority of matching the worldview. The concept of this game is based on the encounter with life forms from other worlds, and it is set before monsters spread to the world as Digimon. For this reason, I prioritize the selection of monsters with designs that give a sense of wildlife from the early LCD games Digital Monster to the monsters that have appeared since Digimon Pendulum. Therefore, the core players may feel that all the Digimon are familiar, but we'd appreciate your understanding, of course.
Can I have a non-partner monster as my partner? And how can I make them my partners?
By playing Free Battle, you can make wild monsters your partners. One of the battle commands is
Voilà, en
conversation,
tant
which
que
allows you to have a conversation
Digitize
with a
Decode, qu'est-ce
wild
qu'on
monster.
pourra faire
You can
avec
use
nos
this command to
partenaires?
have a conversation with wild
Quel est
monsters by answering their questions
l'impact
with
que
choices.
l'on aura?
If you succeed, you can recruit the
Donc voilà
monster as a
le
partner or
Digisaver.
receive items from it.
What conditions must be met in the game in order to evolve a monster?
Bon, il y aura quelques actions qui pourront être faites, hein,
The
voilà.
main character's partner will digivolve as the story progresses.
Ça reste assez flou pour l'instant.
The destination of the digivolution depends on the karma point
Et
of
comme
the
pour
choices
les
you
tous
have
RPG,
made
on
up
aura
to then. You
des
will
choix à
not be able
faire,
to unlock all of
des
them
choix
in
qui,
one
j'imagine,
playthrough.
changeront un petit peu
In
l'histoire
addition,
du jeu.
the Digivolution events of fellow Digimon will be unlocked as the story progresses, and the level of intimacy with the main character increases. Clear these events to Digivolve. In the meantime, you can Digivolve wild monsters by using items obtained through exploration and elsewhere.
After finishing the game, can I carry over data to the next version of it? If so, what kind of data can I carry over?
There will be a New Game Plus function. The data that can be carried over are Digimon levels, unlocked Digivolutions, items and equipment obtained, and wild monsters you have acquired.
Is there anything challenging or hidden after completing the game?
The content that occurs when you go to the second playthrough, there are dungeons with high difficulty battles where enhanced enemies appear. In these dungeons, you can get a lot of reinforcement items, and for each level you reach, you can get powerful skill equipment that is not available in the main story.
Will there be features like a gallery mode for viewing scenes?
There is a backlog function in this game, but the animation scene is only in the opening movie, so there is no recollection of the scene later on.
What kind of difficulty levels are we expecting to see?
The difficulty level can be selected in battle. There are 4 difficulty levels to choose from: difficult, normal, easy, and very easy.
Ouais, voilà, donc il y a un peu
Will
tous les
Digimon
modes de
Survive be
jeu,
fully
hein,
voiced?
tous les niveaux de difficulté.
It will not be full voice. Only the main
Voilà,
part
on
of the
aura
scenario will
du
be
facile
partly
au
voiced.
très difficile, hein.
Are there any multiplayer or communication elements in Digimon Survive?
Est-ce qu'on pourra faire du multijoueur?
There is no multiplayer or communication
Ah,
battle
non.
in this game. Only single mode is available.
That's all the questions we have about Digimon Survive for now. We'll try to
D'accord,
give you
donc
new
il y aura
information,
juste
including the
un mode
release date
solo,
soon.
si j'ai
We
bien
do
compris.
appreciate your support and patience in the meantime. Now let's move on to the next part.
Ok.
We also received many questions about sequels and ports for past games. The first question I'm going to ask is about the Digimon game from the Wonder Swan platform. Are there any plans to port Ryo Akiyama's series that was released for the Wonder Swan to current hardware?
I am also interested in porting
Bon,
from
j'espère quand même
Wonder
qu'ils vont
Swan
nous parler
titles,
d'autres jeux
and
quand même.
once proposed it internally. However, we failed to convince them due to a low sales
Tu vois,
forecast
petit à
and in the
petit, bon, on
aspects of
s'approche quand même un petit peu de la
resources, so we
moitié.
haven't started it yet. However, Ryo Akiyama's series such as Anno Tamer, Katho Tamer are linked to anime and novels of the time. In the point of a good way to learn the history of Digimon, we would like to develop these port products so that you can play in the current environment. In addition, we believe that providing an environment where people can play past titles will help us attract new fans, so we will continue to find the ways to make this happen.
We're always so grateful for the enthusiasm in both old and new Digimon titles. At this time, Digimon Games is going to be focusing on putting resources towards new stories and experiences. We can't make any promises at this time, but we will continue to gauge interest globally. So next, we're going to we did receive a few questions regarding Digimon World. Who created the world view of the first Digimon World?
Since this game project started before the anime project was underway at the time,
donc là ça reparle du premier jeu sorti sur PS1, Digimon World.
And for Digimon World worked together to create it.
Je pense qu'il y en a beaucoup qui s'en rappellent, hein, c'est un des jeux Digimon les plus vendus.
I would be happy to have an opportunity to talk
Beaucoup
about
ont
it
connu
someday.
la licence
Are there any planned support or
grâce à ce jeu.
Digimon World?
Ah, est-ce qu'il va y avoir un remake?
We have received many requests for a port or remake of the original Digimon World. I'm positively considering it, but at the same time, I'm also thinking about which choice, port, remaster, or remake, is better.
Un remake.
If I choose port remaster, then I think it will be highly feasible. If you want a remake, we need to think about how many additional elements you need to incorporate into the game. Digimon World has a very good balance between File Island, the stage, and the Digimon that appear. If we add a new field, for example, like the Folder Continent or Digimon, I think we should treat it as a new product rather than a remake. I would be grateful if you could
Ça
continue
doit
to
vraiment
share your
évoquer des
opinions.
souvenirs à certaines personnes.
Please give us your opinions in the comments section or elsewhere. We'd love to hear from you.
Could you please tell us about the ages of the main characters in Digimon World Re, Digitize
Ah, ça parle
Decode?
maintenant de Digimon World.
Well, I
Re,
think
Digitize
Taiga,
Decode.
Nico, Akiho, and Rina are in the second year of junior high school, and I think they were 14. As for Mirei, well, her actual age before her body disappeared in the accident was around, say, 24 to 26. Due to the accident, her mental data is missing, and her appearance is fixed at 14 years old.
Are there any plans to support Digimon World Re, Digitize Decode?
We have received porting requests for Decode from many people in the US and European regions. We understand that a lot of people want it, as this game has not been localized in the US and Europe yet. However, it is difficult to port 3DS to other platforms. Especially in the case of Decode, this game requires using split screens. So instead of porting the game as is, we have to recreate the controls and UI. Since that would raise the cost, there are considerable hurdles for a port under these circumstances. So we haven't been able to consider it yet.
As Habu-san mentioned, production costs are difficult, especially when it comes to
Ouais,
localization
surtout
and
encore
adjustment to new platforms
avoir
displayed. And as we mentioned before,
une
budget,
petite annonce d'un
resources,
jeu,
and global
d'un
performance
tout
are all
nouveau
factors
jeu,
that
ça
are
serait
needed to be
bien.
considered. We're going to
En
continue to
vrai, hein.
determine interest with upcoming titles like Digimon Survive. As for our
Trailer
next
de
question,
Digimon
do you have
Story
any
avec pas
plans
mal
for a new Digimon
d'annonces.
World game?
remake Digimon World.
We are considering plans for new Digimon World titles. The difficult part is how to design the game system. Given the fact that the system is highly unique, with lifespan training and AI battles, we think it will be difficult to attract new fans. I think it's very important to replicate such uniqueness for the existing Digimon World series fans. However, if we don't get new players into the series, it will become a greater hurdle when we want to make a new game. So it's important to somehow make it easier for new players to enter the series, if possible. We want to continue the Digimon World series in a way that the fans who have supported it for a long time can enjoy it, so we'd love to hear your opinions in the comments section. Please let us know.
Here's a question about the Digimon Story series. I had the impression that previous Digimon Story series was aiming for younger children, but Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory were for adults. What's the reason
Digimon
for this?
Stories maintenant.
Well, the users who purchased the Digimon Story series were
Ça existe
around
depuis
20
pas mal
years
d'années, hein.
old at the time of
Depuis
Super
très
Cross
très très
Wars.
longtemps, Digimon Stories.
So, we felt it was necessary to update the content
Le dernier en
so
date,
that
c'est
users in
Cyber
that
Slug.
age group would not feel it was childish. So, therefore, we changed the
Ah, moi,
direction.
je l'ai d'ailleurs, ce dernier
Do you
jeu.
have any plans to create a sequel to Cyber Sleuth or Hacker's Memory?
Cyber Sleuth et
There are no
Hacker's
plans
Memory,
at
voilà.
this time to produce a sequel
Ah
to
bah
Cyber
voilà, on voit
Sleuth or
les images du
Hacker's
dernier
Memory.
jeu.
We would like to consider
Justement.
it depending on the requests from fans, of course.
Is the new Digimon Story game under development?
Yes, we are developing Digimon Story. We can't say when it will be released, but we hope you will look forward to it.
As previously mentioned, will the next Digimon Story theme be based on the 12 Olympians?
Yes, the 12 Olympians will appear as the central characters of the story.
And will the next Digimon Story game be set in the digital world?
The next Digimon Story game will also be set in the digital world, for sure.
That's it for questions about sequels and ports of past titles and series. There are more questions to come, but since we received a lot of questions from the Asian region at this time, I'd like to pass the baton to Ken from BNEE Taiwan. Please welcome Ken-san from BNEE.
Thank you,
Voilà.
Krista. 制作人你好，大家好，我是 BNE Taiwan 的 Ken。数码宝贝在亚洲非常受欢迎，我们收到很多问题和玩家的需求。今天由我代表广大玩家向制作人提问他们的问题。首先是关于游戏的希望和需求。第一个问题，有制作直接操作数码宝贝的动作角色扮演游戏的计划吗？
It's interesting to see how you'd like to directly control Digimon. If we try to directly control Digimon, we will need about 5 times as many Digimon's motions as we currently have. Motion production costs consist of the majority of the whole development cost for Digimon. So, if you think we need to add it, we might have to reduce the number of Digimon that appear in the game. Currently, we are focusing on increasing the number of Digimon, so we are not considering an action RPG where the Digimon are directly controlled. However, if you think we should focus on directly controlling Digimon, I would like to consider it. We'd love to hear your opinions, so please share them with us.
好，了解。 我很想要在智慧型手机上面游玩数码宝贝的育成类游戏，这是有可能的吗？
Yes, I'd like to consider it too, of course. However, based on past results of implementation, we think it's difficult to develop focusing on training Digimon game in terms of business feasibility. Therefore, although it may be a long way off, I think it would be a good idea to consider linking it with console video games and to expand gameplay by allowing users to train Digimon in the app and then transfer the training data to console hardware or PCs. We're not sure if it's a possibility from the point of technical limits, but we would appreciate your patience.
原来如此。那比如说有制作开放世界游戏的计划吗？
An open world game requires the accumulation of many years of development knowledge as well as a huge amount of development costs. First of all, we need to clarify what we want to have people enjoy as a Digimon game and find the way to develop this kind of game while thinking of both feasibility and cost. So, if we come up with the option of open world, we will consider it.
有一些玩家他有这种需求，就是我不想要进化我最喜欢的数码宝贝，我想要让它保持在同一个进化状态，然后去育成它，并且去一直强化它。那像这种方式是有可能的吗？
Yes, we understand that there are a lot of fans who think like this. So, we would like to make it possible to train Digimon so that they can beat ultimate forms even in the growth stage, assuming that it takes more time than normal training, of course.
原来如此。那我们有比如说制作多人游玩的数码宝贝游戏的计划吗？
Ils vont développer des
Yes,
jeux
we
multijoueurs à
would
bonne
like to
question.
consider multiplayer games in our future development.
原来如此。
Les
因
jeux
为我
sont
们现在
en
的游戏
développement dans le
其实
futur, bref.
都还蛮比较困难。那未来游戏会继续以大人为目标客群吗？
The world
Les
of
questions sont pas
Survive
si
is dark,
intéressantes que ça en vrai.
and this game is targeted
Je sais pas
towards
ce que vous en
people
pensez
who have played
sur le
Digimon
chat.
games. We'd like to consider future projects that are easier and aiming for a wide range of people to get into and enjoy.
了解。这边有一个比较困难的问题，就是有没有可能让数码宝贝世界2的 DG Battle 这个要素有没有让它再度登场的可能性？
I'd like to have the
Un remake
Digimon
de
appear
Digimon World Re.
somewhere.
OK， 了解。那
Bon,
有
ce
没
sera
有可
pas tout
能
de suite,
推
hein.
出例如以 X 抗
pense
体
pas.
数码宝贝为中心的游戏？
It may be difficult to make a standalone title, but we would like to deal with the X antibodies in some way, so please look forward to it.
了解了解。以上就是关于游戏的希望和玩家的需求的部分。那非常感谢广大玩家们的意见。那正如制作人所回答的那样，我们将继续努力满足玩家们的需求，并且尽力的去提供粉丝可以尽情享受的各种内容。最后，想请教制作人一些关于游戏开发的问题。首先想问，开发一款游戏需要多少的时间？
Well, it depends on what kind of game we decide to develop. If we decide to develop a game that is optimized for the latest hardware specifications, it will take 3 to 5 years, which is quite a long time.
原来如此，真的要花蛮多时间的。那我们要如何平衡数码宝贝游戏中的育成和战斗这两大要素呢？
It is true that Digimon LCD games are based on training and battles. In addition to this, the home video games include the elements of adventure or story, and I believe that these three elements form the basis of the game elements. Of these, I believe that training is the most important element that characterizes a game. Basically, there are two types of games. One is Digimon World type, where you take your time to raise a single Digimon with a long lifespan. The other is Digimon Story type, where you collect multiple Digimon and repeatedly digivolve and degenerate them without a long lifespan. Since what users need is different, we hope to develop a series with different contents.
原来如此。那当开发一款新的数码宝贝游戏的时候，您是如何去创作它的基础设定、世界观还有剧情？
Well, when I'm producing, the setting of Digimon is based on that of the LCD game's Digital Monster, the setting of which is put together by Plex, formerly Wiz. On top of that, as for the game world, I produced the original setting. That's why we have to worry about the theme, the story, and the main Digimon for each game. How should we express the relationship between Digimon and humans in the world? I decide on the theme and think about how to express the main Digimon within that theme. And then I link them together to create the story and the world view.
了解。那在选定游戏收录的数码宝贝的时候，是根据怎样的着眼点去选择它呢？
The type and number of Digimon that appear in the game are key points that users pay the most attention to. So we take care of this decision. We make our choices from two main perspectives. First, to have the Digimon that users want. Second, to select them according to the storyline and worldview. Since games are the most popular of all Digimon merchandise, games cover a range of players, from light to core fans. There will be a difference between the Digimon that casual people want and those that hardcore people want. Hardcore players often want Digimon that aren't well known. So if we only prioritize their requests, the Digimon lineup would be full of ones that a large majority of players wouldn't recognize or be interested in. The Digimon that casual players want are the ones that core players think are typical to have. So I make it a rule to think of what types of Digimon casual players would like us to add first.
Ouais, voilà, c'est un petit peu, on va dire, compliqué, mais ouais, voilà, expliquer un petit peu l'apparence, on va dire, des Digimon dans les jeux, quel Digimon choisir et tout. Ça repose, on va dire, sur des mécaniques assez précises. Je vais pas trop m'étaler là-dessus, mais voilà. Bon, j'avoue que c'est un petit peu dommage que pour les réponses, ils foutent pas les sous-titres un peu. J'avoue que c'est pas spécialement très évident sur les sous-titres. Personnellement, j'avoue que je me débrouille un peu mieux avec les sous-titres, hein, donc je vais pas vous mentir que c'est un peu compliqué.
那假设如果比如说我想游玩那种收录最新登场的数码宝贝，或者是反过来说，比如说收录了各种很不为人知、很稀有的那种数码宝贝，有没有可能让我玩到这种游戏作品呢？
je tiens à préciser qu'il reste que 10 minutes. Hein. Il reste que 10 minutes pour la section jeux vidéo. Après, on partira sur du TCG.
Yes, we're planning to support more languages in the near future.
Alors voilà, dans le futur, les langues seront... Est-ce que Digimon ça sera soutenu en Europe? Et il y aura, il nous dit qu'il y aura encore plusieurs langues en Europe, bien sûr.
Russian and Arabic could be added into consideration for future games, depending on the success of our upcoming titles.
那我要如何才能找到数码宝贝游戏系列的类似游戏开发相关工作呢？
Well, I think the best way is to join Bandai Namco Entertainment Incorporated. If you want to get involved in this game series as a developer, it is difficult because development companies often change depending on the work. But I think it is better to work for a developer that is skillful in the field of RPGs and propose your plan to Bandai Namco Entertainment. Besides that, you could work on your portfolio as an illustrator or scenario writer. Or maybe you can show how much of a Digimon fan you are. You can use those achievements to appeal and sell your resume. I think there's certainly a chance there. So give it a shot. I'd love for Digimon fans.
Ouais, bon là, c'est un peu comment ils innovent un petit peu dans les jeux Digimon, etc., etc. Bon, je vais pas m'étaler là-dessus, qu'il n'y a pas vraiment d'annonce. Hein, c'est surtout une question assez large et dans laquelle on brasse un peu le vent. Donc, je vais pas trop m'étaler là-dessus. Hein. Il n'y a pas vraiment d'annonce dans ce genre de questions. Là, j'avais quand même plutôt bien démarré, mais il y a des questions, plus ça va, moins elles sont bien. Et plus les réponses, on va dire, sont approximatives. Et...
With that many people working on a single project, it is very difficult to share a finished product image. If the image is not properly shared, incoherent content will be developed. Therefore, communication skills are required, and I am having a very hard time of communicating with them. Also, as a hardship unique to Digimon games, I struggle with scenario creation every single time. Creators are all unique, with their own visions of what they want to make. So, while making adjustments, we try to sculpt that into the best form for what the fans want. That's why I think the most difficult part is how to communicate with each other. Additionally, this story is unique to Digimon games. So, since the Digimon setting is so complicated and has a very long history, it's rather difficult to create the scenario.
真的很辛苦啊。那做游戏开发带给制作人最有趣，还有带给你最多动力的是哪一个部分？
In the development phase, what I enjoy the most is when I can feel the image taking shape. After release, it's when I see the comments from fans who enjoyed the game. It becomes a great source of motivation when we hear this.
那最后一个问题，请问未来数码宝贝游戏会朝什么方向发展？
While continuing to refine and
quelle direction
produce the existing
dans le
series,
futur les jeux Digimon
we would like to take on new
prendront.
challenges, such as, for example, online multiplayer titles.
Ah, il insiste beaucoup sur les
以
jeux
上
en
就是所
ligne
有来自亚洲的问题。
multijoueurs, pourquoi
谢谢
pas.
您的回应，可以感受到制作人对游戏开发
Surtout
的
que la
热
question
情，
a été un
以及
petit
对
peu
数码宝贝的
déjà,
热爱。
enfin pas
非常
très
期待
précisément
新的
cette
数码宝
question-là,
贝游
mais
戏的问世。
ils ont déjà dit que
Yes, thank you very much. We're going to look
il y
over the
aurait
questions and
des
requests that we weren't
jeux
able
en
to
ligne
address at this time,
multijoueurs
but we're going to use them in our
prochainement.
future work. So, that's the end of the game section. How did you feel after all of that, Habu-san?
Thank you for all your questions and requests. I'd really like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am very
On
happy that
s'approche vraiment
so many
petit à petit de
people
la
are
fin
interested
des
in Digimon
questions-réponses.
games. We believe that we are able to produce games thanks to the fans who enjoy this game series. Now, once this difficult situation caused by COVID-19 is over, we hope to have the opportunity to hear from you through real-time streaming. We'll refer to the feedback we received to develop a game that everyone can enjoy. So please continue to support Digimon games in the future.
That's all for today then. Please look forward to more Digimon news in the future. We're so happy to hear from all of our fans. Thank you for watching!
Allez hop.
Very nice.
Et voilà, en tout cas pour la première section concernant... Alors là j'ai un peu baissé parce que ah, dis donc là il y a un... Le son c'est les montagnes russes. Bref, en tout cas voilà pour la section jeux vidéo. Donc bon voilà, beaucoup d'annonces en tout cas concernant Digimon Survie. Hein, là ils se sont un peu lâchés hein, sur le jeu, l'histoire, les personnages, les Digimon qui seront dans le jeu, un nouveau trailer. Pas de date de sortie par contre, ça c'est ce qui a manqué, pas de date de sortie. Mais bon voilà. Après ils ont un peu dit qu'il y aurait des remakes du premier Digimon World. Hein, voilà, bon il n'y a pas vraiment plus d'informations pour l'instant. Et puis voilà, alors l'information qu'on avait apprise voilà, il y a au moins 2-3 jours avant cette Digimon Con, c'est l'arrêt de Digimon Re le 21 avril. Le jeu voilà, qui est disponible sur iOS et Android va fermer. Ça va fermer tout simplement le 21 avril prochain. Voilà en tout cas pour les annonces jeux vidéo. Et puis bah on va aller directement ensuite dans quelques minutes dans le match TCG USA contre Japon. Voilà, vous pouvez toujours me dire si vous m'entendez à peu près bien ou pas. Parce que eux, je peux vous dire, ils crient. Voilà, allez, on a fait à peu près le tour des annonces concernant les jeux vidéo. Et puis bah voilà, en tout cas en live sur Twitch, on continue. Sur YouTube, la suite dans la prochaine vidéo. Allez, hop, à tout de suite.